what you're telling us right now, I presume, is it Cherokee prophecy? These periods of time that we're discussing?
It's actually twisted hair prophecy.
Twisted hair prophecy.
See, if you were to take, let's say you were Cheyenne, I was Cherokee, other brothers and sisters were different tribes, and for whatever reason we realized that we had both the religion of our people, the spiritual way of our people, but it just didn't work. It didn't give us enough answers. It didn't give us enough connection to the mysteries and to the things that we wanted to know in the realms of knowledge. So we would go and travel. We'd go travel with different tribes. We'd travel to talk to different people. And in doing so, we began to realize that, look, there was a lot more than one way to skin a cat here. There was a connecting link to the universe here that different people chose to approach in different ways. And so consequently, we would start looking for truth. Mr. Bell, they wrote a prophecy called the Rainbow Bridge Prophecy. And it speaks of 8 horses in a race, the horse symbolizing the carrying or the transportation of the philosophies and the belief systems and the core beliefs of a people. And that these horses were running, and they're running towards the date at which all the Native American Turtle Island people shut off their calendar, which is 2012.
That's the Mayan. That's the Mayan calendar.
Yes, sir.
End of the Mayan calendar.
Absolutely. And there's a reason why they shut it off on August 17th, 2012.
Why? What is this?
Because they see that we will develop into full human beings, humanity, humans in unity, and we will be teaching one another, sharing with one another, caring with one another, healing one another, loving one another, with individual autonomous freedom. But our number one enemy is ignorance, superstition, slavery, dogma, the dark side.
The modern day is what you're talking about. And you say that this quickening, interesting choice of terms, selection of terms, began, did you say 2000?
Actually, 2001.
2001.
It actually started on midnight of 2001. That was
that sounds just about right, actually. As I look at events that have occurred, it seems just exactly right. That we took a little bit of a quantum leap at that point, and events have been certainly quickening.
And see, I think that from 1980 to 2000, when we were in the awakening, you take this chronic stress fatigue syndrome malady that's going around. That was almost non-existent until approximately 83, 84, somewhere in there, when they first started diagnosing different cases. And that's right in the first 4 years of the awakening. And the awakening was moving over from one cycle, one pattern, one timing of life experience called karma, for lack of a better term. We call it Shilimata, but let's just say karma because that's kind of a universal word, and stepped over into Dharma, or what we call Shilimata. See? And when we did that, the speed of life, the actual circle of life, which is our people say we go around the wheel of life once every, twice every 3 years. Well, in Dharma, we go around that same life experience 13 times every 3 years. And all of a sudden, the speed, the pace, the timing, I mean, there's not a person I talk to that doesn't talk about how it just seems like time is moving so much faster. And that is indeed true. Humans' metabolism is speeding up. And that's why we're seeing more and more and more prevalence of the shadow people.
You mean the faster our metabolism becomes, the faster we're moving in some sort of spiritual sense, the more we're going to see of them? Is that true?
Absolutely. Because in essence, if you take, every time we have a negative thought, every time we have a guilt, blame, shame, fear, anger, resentment, jealousy, envy, greed, possessiveness, insecurity, resentment, we're projecting that energetic out of our luminosity, out of our soul being, our spirit, if you want to call it that, and into the ethers, into the universe.
So then you're basically, I think, saying that our negative emotions are what? Creating the shadow people? Feeding the shadow people?
They're completing the shadow people because they're basically inorganic beings.
They're completing the shadow people.
Yes, they're inorganic beings.
The implication of that would be, though, that there's some force that's already in existence that we're completing with these negative emotions, but that there's some form there prior to our, what's the right word, completing its existence?
I would say that what we're doing is we're assembling them into our world of perceptual reality because they exist in a parallel dimension. Within the 7 streams of reality, the 7 streams or 7 dimensions of reality, there are actually 72 parallel dimensions to either side that the Zero Chiefs discovered. And these include your 5th dimension when you're dreaming at night. And every night when you dream, you demonstrate what our people call the LAREN, the energy-sensitive perceptions of awareness. You go to heightened awareness instead of normal awareness.
So you may be at your most sensitive
Yes.
when you're asleep,
Absolutely.
most subject to perhaps being able to see these beings.
Correct.
Are they beings, by the way? Is that
We call them inorganic beings. That was
inorganic?
The definition given in 1153 BC by the major Zero Chiefs that really started noticing the phenomenon in the young.
Inorganic.
Inorganic beings, and that they appear because they feed in a vampiristic sense. They feed off of our emotional chaos, our emotional discharge of energy.
So then you will excuse me if I get a little crude for you. I'm not as eloquent as you, but basically, if you were to see a shadow person a little more than in peripheral vision, it would scare the
Yes.
out of you, right?
For
And
example,
you're suggesting it would feed on that fright.
Yes, it will. And see, if you know anything about animals, and I'm not Dr. Doolittle, but I definitely have learned to communicate with animals over my life because we call the animals sweet medicine. And because they have a natural harmony and a natural balance and alignment. And you don't see a dog going to a psychotherapist to learn why it's not a cat. I mean, a dog's a dog and a cat's a cat. Well, we are animals. We're 2-legged animals.
Sure.
But we have the potentiality to actually become a human being. And that's what we're in now. We're trying to learn to become human beings.
Are these inorganic beings sentient? In other words, are they conscious in the
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes?
You got to realize that almost every form of everything inside what we call the sacred laws of creation or the evolutionary laws is that all forms of all things are potentially transformable into all forms of all other things. And energy once created cannot be destroyed. It can simply be altered in the essence of its energy expression, its energy form. So these inorganic beings are parallel dimensional beings, is the best way to refer to them, that are pulled into our dimension, especially through the dream time, and engage and interact with us.